following questions asks you to work out the volume of a triangular prism. So you start off first with calculating the area of this side. Okay. Now to calculate that, you need to calculate the area of a triangle. In order to do that, write the formula down. Area equals base times height, which in this case is 15 times by 8 over 2, which is 120 divided by 2, which is 60 centimeters squared. Now, to find the volume of a triangular prism, it's just volume equals cross-sectional area times by the length. In this case, the length is 10 centimeters. And of course, the cross-sectional area we've just calculated is 60 centimeters squared. Now, writing this down then, we have 60 centimeters squared times by 10 centimeters, and we get 600 centimeters cubed. Now remember, your units are especially important, just because they could earn you the exam to get full marks on the question. So your final answer is 600 centimeters. This is a slightly different question. So the question gives you a diagram of a triangular prism, and it's given you what the lengths are of the sides, and the volume of the prism is 84 centimeters cubed. Now it says work out the length of side AB, which is this side. And no, I've labelled that side as X because it's unknown and we don't know what it is yet. So we work our way backwards with this one. They've given us the volume. They want us to work out the length of that side. Now to do this, we need to be able to put the numbers back into the formula. So ideally it would have been working out the face area, which would be 4 times X divided by 2. Now if we wanted to work out the volume, we'd then times this area by the length, which is here. So again, times by 12. Now this should equal to the volume, which is 84 centimeters cubed. Now of course this changes into 4x divided by 2 times by 12 equals 84. And then we have 4x divided by 2 is 2x times by 12, which is 24x, which is equal to 84. So we then have 24x equal to 84. Now, to find the final value, we just need to divide both sides by 24 so that we have x on its own. Dividing it on this side cancels 24 out, and of course 84 divided by 24, we just break that down, so we have x equals 84 over 24. It's not a whole number, so we just half them as we go along. So we get 42 over 12, which is 21 over 6. Divide them both by 3 and we get 7 over 2, which is just half of 7, which is 3.5 centimeters. So your final answer is 3.5 centimeters per side. So to calculate the volume of this prism, you'd need to find cross-sectional area and then multiply that with the height. Now, the cross-sectional area is this part. Now to make it easier, you split this in half, like so. This part is 5 centimeters, because the whole length of this is 9 centimeters. Now, to calculate the area of one part, say this is A. For A, to calculate the area, all you do is 7 times 4, and you get 28 centimeters squared. Apologies for the awful writing. Now, to find, let's say, call this B. To find the area of B, you just do 5 times 2, which is 10 centimeters squared. Now, all you need to do to get the total cross-sectional area is add these two together and you get 38 centimeters squared. Now for your final part, all you will need to do is calculate the volume. So to find the volume, you times the cross-sectional area with the length. Now, doing this here then, the cross-sectional total area is 38 centimeters squared, timesing that with the length, which is 10 centimeters, and your final volume is then 380 centimeters cubed. Remember, the units are very important because it's a volume. The units are centimeters cubed. This is probably an extra mark in the exam that you could take on if you remember to add the units at the end of your answer. And that's the final answer. Now, the following question asks you to calculate the area of the shape and then calculate the volume of the skip. As you can see, the area, the cross-sectional area, is in the form of a trapezium. And to calculate the area of a trapezium, you use the following formula. Okay, so area of a trapezium is A plus B divided by 2 times by height, where A is obviously your 1.7 here, B is this part, which is equivalent to this side, so that's 2.3, and then your height is 1.3, which is here. Now, just inputting these into the formula, so you have 1.7 plus 2.3 divided by 2 times by 1.3, and you get 2.6 centimeters squared. That's your final answer. Now, for part B, all you have to do to find the volume of a prism is times the area by the length. So we have the area, which is 2.6 centimeters squared, times by the length, which is 1.5 centimeters, giving you a final answer of 3.9 centimeters cubed. So that is your final answer. Now, moving on to your next question. This question asks you to work out the volume of the prism. So looking at that, you would need to identify your cross-sectional area first. And the cross-sectional area is here. Now I would split this cross-sectional area into 2, like so. So this side would be 1, and then this would be another, and then find the area of both areas and then add it together. So, of course, this much area can be calculated, this length can be calculated because this is 5. We know that this will also be 5. So, for the smaller shape, the area would be 5 times by, now this much length can be calculated by taking 4 away from 7, which is 3. Okay, so it would be 5 by 3 for that shape. So I would call this shape A. Yeah, and I would call this shape B. Okay, so this is shape A. For shape B, it would just be 4 times by 11. Okay, so 4 by 11. Sorry. 4 by 11. So for this shape, we have 15 centimeters squared. And for this shape, we have 44 centimeters squared. Now, adding them together gives me 59 centimeters squared. Now, all I need to do, again, to calculate the volume of the prism is just V equals the area, which is here, times by the length of the shape, which is this number here, and you have 59 times by 20, which is 1180, your final answer from your units. The following question asks you to work out the volume of this prism. Now, this is different to the questions because, as seen, the cross-sectional area is that of a trapezium. So, in this case, just as any prism, you would calculate the volume of this prism by multiplying the cross-sectional area with the length. Now, the area of a trapezium can be calculated with the following formula. So A plus B over 2 times by the height. Now, this is A, this is B, this is your height. So all we do is put these numbers into the formula and we should be able to get an answer. 8 plus 6, which is 14. 14 divided by 2, which is 7. Write that again. And times by 5, which is 35. Now, putting that into this formula with the volume, the length, of course, is 20 centimeters, and we've calculated the cross-sectional area as 5. So I'm just going to amend the formula written, because I haven't added area here. So cross-sectional area is 35 multiplied by the length, which is 20 centimeters. And the answer to the question is then 700 centimeters cubed. So this is your final answer for the volume of this prism. More of an application question. So they've said here the diagram shows 2 fish tanks, each in the shape of a cuboid. Finley fills both fish tanks with water. Which fish tank holds the most water? You must show all your calculations. So I would calculate the volume of both cuboids, and the one holding most capacity would obviously be your answer. So the highest volume will give you your answer. Now, to calculate the volume of each, all you would do is, it's very important with questions like these to read the text properly. It's less to do with the numbers that you need to input in the formula and more to sort of realise what's going on and to determine what formulas you need to use and what the question is actually asking from you. So the volume of shape A would just be 35 times by 95 times by 30, which is equal to 99,750 centimeters cubed. Now, volume of cuboid B is then 65 multiplied by 45 multiplied by 35 to give you an answer of 102,375 centimeters cubed. This gives you, of course, your final answer of tank B being the tank with the most that can hold the most water, but you need to make this clear in your answer to ensure that you get all marks. So just at the end, a comment, tank B will hold the most water as it has a greater volume. It's very important that you show understanding, and that's what you do with that final sentence at the end.